Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Blunt Ranking of the MCU here on Blunt Lemons at youtube.co.uk. I'm joined today by a plethora of lemons, including one Joseph.
Hi, I'm one of the plethora.
Speaking of one of the plethora, because that's all I got out of that, we've got Dion.
Hello there. I shan't plug this week.
And the man with the hair plugs, Benjamin.
Hello. Who again needs to reiterate, he doesn't have hair plugs. But
I didn't even do that on purpose.
You're kind of screwed by the order there, because if you go after Dion and he does his plugs or mentions plugs at all, that's all that's going to be in my head.
that's it. I'm plugged for life.
It is Blunt Lemon's law now. Ben has plugs.
Can we just change Ben's artwork so he's bald?
Bald.
Or balding? Can we just take out the middle?
I'm fairly sure we made this exact joke last week. But speaking of last week, this is Blunt Ranking of the MCU, where each and every week we, the Lemons, get together and talk about the MCU film we're up to. We're only on week 2 this week, so it's not exactly an established thing yet, but it will be. By the time we reach week 23, you'll know exactly what this show is by that point.
Oh, God, why?
You signed up for this, bitch. Anyway...
Hopefully by week 23 we can all go outside again. So.
That would be nice.
And we won't have to do this anymore. Crack on, Christopher.
Anyway, this week we're doing, as I mentioned before, we're doing The Incredible Hulk, which was released on the 13th of June 2008. Only a month, or ish, roughly a month after Iron Man, which I think
it looks
kind of
older than Iron Man.
Yeah, that's one thing about it. I think this movie looks kind of like crap for the most part.
Yeah, it does. When I was watching it, I was like, "Why are we watching this second? Didn't this come out before Iron Man?" Because Iron Man looks pretty good, actually. This
Iron Man aged particularly well.
This has got like a weird military thing to it, like the days without incident and the opening crawl. It's all a bit strange.
They went for both a similar and a very different style to Iron Man. It's like, especially like in the opening alone. I was watching the opening and I was just like, "What the fuck is this?"
It doesn't.
And it kept going on.
It doesn't look like an MCU film to me. It looks like a film from 2001. It looks like
it feels like an early 2000s superhero movie. It looks like it could have come out alongside like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four. Instead of Iron Man.
Same note. It feels exactly like that to me. Like,
well,
everything
Ben,
about it.
You've got 5 pages worth of notes. I mean, it's got to be there somewhere.
It is in there. It's on page 3.7.
I could have called you the man with the notes, not Ben with hair plugs. Next time.
Yeah, but I'm the man with the notes, but they're not very good notes.
And he also does have hair plugs, so...
God damn it. Stop telling the people that. They'll believe it. They'll know the truth.
They should.
It's too late.
They should believe it. By the time we're on week 23, you might be bald, so you never know.
It's true.
You might have just will be that old by the time we've watched this entire MCU.
I'll be
50?
I'll be 72.
You will. Anyway.
One interesting thing I noted about the release date, it's a month after Iron Man, but it's like total gross as a film is only 264. It grossed roughly half of what Iron Man did. And when you guys, we were talking about the film before we started recording, when you guys like mentioned maybe Iron Man like ate into this movie's box office, like I feel like that's quite like a significant like bit of evidence there that this movie did so much worse than Iron Man.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of just wanted to like they released Iron Man and they saw how well it was received, and then they looked at the quality of Iron Man compared to the Incredible Hulk and just went, "Let's just sweep this under the rug. Just release it quick now."
Yeah,
Maybe.
I mean, I don't remember. I didn't see this in the cinema. I don't remember there being any hype for it at the time. Like, Iron Man was everywhere. And this, I just didn't hear anything about it.
I didn't even know it came out a month later.
I didn't even know it existed. So I don't know how they did it. It's genius. Anyway.
Well,
it's quite the opposite of genius, actually.
yeah, for all the wrong reasons, yeah.
I guess that'll move us into the segment, 'cause Ben kind of meant. What is our past with this film? Because as I said with Iron Man last week, I didn't watch Iron Man. I also didn't watch The Incredible Hulk until last year. Actually, no, I did. No, I watched The Incredible Hulk like I think roughly the time like Civil War came out. but like many years later, and I wasn't very impressed with it back in the day.
I, like Ben mentioned there, I basically did not know this film existed. I remember seeing Iron Man in cinemas, but The Incredible Hulk had no clue. And the first time I watched it, it was also many, many, many years later after it came out. Literally, I don't even remember when I first saw it. I can safely say this is my second viewing. I've watched it once before this, and that was all. And I'd completely forgotten everything about it up until today, because that's when I viewed it.
I think I'm the same as you, Dion. To be honest, like I didn't see it, and then I saw it years later, and I can't remember when it was, and then I forgot about it again.
I don't know myself. I've watched it a few times actually, to be fair. So I kind of, when I was watching it, I remembered most of the beats of the movie. I can't remember where.
Was it this film you remembered or Hulk?
Yeah. Well, this one when I watched it, I won't say now what I felt of it. When I watched it a while ago, I remember quite enjoying it, at least somewhat. And I can't remember how I first watched it, but I can't remember even that with Iron Man. But I think I might have seen this first, to be honest. I don't even know when. I think I might have only watched Iron Man when, right around the time, I don't know, maybe the second one came out? I can't remember, to be honest. But, yeah. This one was more vivid.
It is a long time ago, lost in the annals of history.
Exactly.
So, I guess it's time for our quick thoughts before we go into an in-depth plot synopsis. What did we all think off the bat about the Incredible Hulk this time round?
It's fine.
Moving on.
That is literally my thoughts exactly, to be fair. I don't know if it's because I went into it with super low expectations, because having only viewed it once before, I was just like, it must have been either incredibly forgettable or incredibly shit if I've never watched it again since. Watched it throughout, and I was to be fair, I was pleasantly surprised throughout. I kept finding myself going, there's good bits in here. Like, oh, I really enjoyed that bit. I enjoyed that bit. But then at the end of it, I was just like, it was a thing. It was fine. They could have done it better. It could have been a lot worse. I'll probably forget I saw it again in about a week.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I kind of felt the same. It's weird to say that it's fine is a pretty good summation, but it's not too offensive. And a lot of the things you could say about it are kind of like nitpicking. It's just kind of there. Yeah. And things happen, and you're like, okay, sure, and you're just watching it, and it's all right. I didn't mind it.
When we get to the plot synopsis, there's going to be a lot of nitpicking. There's very specific things where I'm like, what? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's certainly things like that for me as well. I remember a few of them.
Yeah. Most of it's just quite vanilla, though, I feel. There's definitely big moments where you're like, okay. But then the rest is like, you're just watching it, and it's an easy movie to have on in the background, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I can easily say most of it for me is forgettable, including that last fight between Hulk and basically other Hulk. But up until then, the highlights for me were definitely just watching Hulk smash.
Yeah, I mean, not saying much, but they'd lost me by that point. By the point Hulk was smashing other Hulk, I was out. It's done.
It starts off well for me, actually better than I thought I remembered.
Yeah.
And then it just, after a while, it just tails off over time, and then you get to the end, you're just like, what am I doing? What was I doing?
I agree with the
summation. Was I getting a snack? I can't remember what I was doing.
But it's alright. It's alright. I agree with pretty much everything that's been said, but it's not terrible.
I actually quite like the first half of the film.
Yes.
Like, but before he leaves South America and ends up in the US, I quite like that bit, and even the fight in the university. Up until around there, I like it. It's after that point when Betty joins the Incredible Hulk. I'm like, oh dear, I'm not liking this anymore.
I actually do think that university scene might be my favourite bit, but.
Oh, really? Intriguing.
Yeah, maybe. Actually, no, maybe the beginning. Actually, you know what? We'll get.
I like all the bits where they deal with the Hulk like a horror creature, where you never quite see him. He's in shadow, and it's just smoky.
He grabs him, pulls him into the shadows, and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah. And we'll definitely probably address that, but yeah, should we go through it?
Right, yeah, right. Plot synopsis. This is going to be a bit of a messy one because I watched this film a while ago, and to be honest, I find it a hard film to remember. But we start our whirlwind adventure in the land of montages.
A
As
montage that basically says, hey, we all know that you know how the Hulk was made, so we're going to do it in a very confusing series of montage.
everyone in this montage seemed to be like acting really hokey to me. It was like they were like pantomiming, like, "Oh no, it's the Hulk!" as he like smashed people. I guess. It was very early 2000s to me.
It is.
Yeah.
The whole opening is very like kind of Spider-Man, kind of Matrixy, kind of like that kind of vibe. If you get what I'm saying.
It's got an unusual
Yeah, no.
vibe for a Marvel movie, or an MCU movie.
So, like straight off the bat, it doesn't feel like a Marvel film to me.
You know, it kind of reminds me of Green Lantern.
Oh God! Is that because everything's green?
Well, first of all, the Hulk is very muscly and very veiny, just like that CGI Green Lantern suit. But I don't know. There's something about like the green writing and just the way it looks. Just reminds me. Well, Green Lantern came out not many years after this. It feels like that era of superhero films.
I think, which is worse, this or Green Lantern?
Green Lantern by a country.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I'm just going to say from what I've heard.
Yeah.
But we're going through a montage of shit that happened and the Hulk, various news reports about the Hulk and whatnot. It's been a while since he first hulked out, and he's been on the run, and they've been looking for him, etc. But we catch up to the Hulk, however many days after his last incident, I can't for the life of me remember. And he is just having a gay old time in Rio de Janeiro, or Brazil, or is it Brazil? Rio de Janeiro is in Brazil. Either way, it's Brazil.
It's
It's
not a
Rio
lot.
de Janeiro in Brazil. Yes.
Either way, he's hanging out there. He's having a gay old time doing Pilates and anger control, drinking
Breathing.
sodas, breathing, making food for his
Especially,
dog.
Do you think the guy who's doing the hit training him to control his anger stuff? Do you think he knows what he's set up for? Because I'm like, this is some very risky training. You could easily just punch his face in if you lose control right now.
I didn't think so. I
You,
didn't
you
assume
have
so,
to.
but-
You have to assume he doesn't know he's the Hulk. We wouldn't be slapping him in the face.
Yeah, but there's also a thing. It's like he's just this random bloke, Edward Norton, in this situation has gone up and just been like, I need to train to keep my what is his heart rate under 200.
Yeah.
200. Yeah.
But so we need to be really, really focused on it. But then he was very serious when he was getting closer. He was like, okay, stop. So the other guy must know there's something there. He probably doesn't know he's the Hulk, but
Yeah.
maybe he thinks he's gonna his heart will explode or something.
I quite like the heart rate monitor thing. It actually shows you
I do like
very
that.
effectively.
I was going to say,
Especially
I
with how
don't
they
like.
increased bleeping.
You don't like it?
I don't like the idea. Like Hulk gets angry, he becomes. Bruce Banner gets angry, he becomes the Hulk. But with the heart rate thing, there's too many things that raise your heart rate. Like if you go on like a brisk jog, you might Hulk out or something.
They addressed this later in the movie as well.
I was going to say,
in a
when
very
they have horny
unnecessary
time.
scene, I felt.
Yes. So you don't like...
It kind of removes the simplicity of man gets angry, turns into rage monster, into man does anything that raises his heart rate, but there's like too many caveats to that. Like, there's a lot of things that can raise your heart rate.
They kind of just seem to bunch it under when I get excited, I Hulk out.
Yeah.
Which is not as good. Which is not as good a line as "You won't like me when I'm angry." You won't like me when I'm sexually aroused or mildly out of breath.
You won't like me when I'm hungry.
Hungry? Passa?
I did quite like it though when it starts beeping and you're like, oh shit, he needs to get it under control. But maybe I don't know. You
Yeah,
can just show
it doesn't work when you think about it, like Chris has pointed out. But as just a cool little thing of being like, oh shit, we're getting closer to the Hulk. We're getting closer to the Hulk. It's a nice little build up.
Yeah, but I
Adds a
do
bit of
agree
tension,
that
I
the like pure.
But yeah, I agree
anger
that-
would be probably better.
To me, it's just more simple and easy to get my head around. Whereas, like, so his heart rate, like, if it's linked to his heart rate, then it's the whole thing of him getting angry. It's really got nothing to do with him getting angry. And anger is
Literally, yeah.
like one of like low down on the list of things that you can do to get your heart rate up by accident.
Pretty much, yeah. That's even though they address several times that you wouldn't like me when I'm angry, but then becomes, which kind of actually makes no. I don't know. It's very ambiguous because there's moments where his heart rate clearly isn't up and he hulks out. He just does it, like at the end, I guess, and then I don't know. I don't mind it as a random plot device, though, I gotta say.
It works well enough for this movie. I just don't think it works for the Hulk per se as a character.
Yeah. I don't
If you said that's just how it works in this movie, I'm fine with that. It's just more like I'm glad they didn't carry it on, I guess, is the summary of the
me
story.
too.
Yeah, they went
Yeah.
back to the anger thing, which, I completely agree with.
The movie wouldn't lose anything if the breathing wasn't there. You could easily act it out in a way to show, oh god, he's trying to calm himself, as opposed to the heart rate. But I wasn't perturbed by it.
No. Anyway, the whole Edward Norton is funding this life of Pilates and anger control management by working at the local sarsaparilla factory, where I'm not entirely sure what his job is, but he also does fix their conveyor belt a lot. But he doesn't want to be paid for fixing the conveyor belt because the US government will track him down if he does that.
Yeah.
The whole thing is he doesn't want to be on the official payroll, which I feel like as an employer you'd be like, that seems suspicious.
Yeah. Well, I guess this is not Mexico. This is Brazil. Everything in Brazil is a bit shady. Racist, aren't I?
You feel really sorry for him in this beginning. Like, this guy's like really, really smart, like as smart as Tony Stark, but he's got no money, and if he gets angry, he kills everyone.
And he can't get like a high-paying job, otherwise it's going to stand out.
Like he's fixing this conveyor belt for this guy, and he's like, "Oh, you gotta get a new one and everything." The guy's like, "Oh, I need a new factory." He's like, "Oh, I get it, yeah." Got no
I
money.
never really felt like... I never felt that sorry for him in the entire movie, to be honest.
I did. He's living in.
I didn't think the movie ever...
Ghettos.
I don't think the movie ever, like, put that forward, though. It never did things to make me... He always seemed to have everything, in a sense, under control. And he was at peace with...
I'd have felt a lot more for Bruce if, like, every time he didn't get into trouble, like, the next scene it was just kind of fixed. And they never really said... It's one of my problems with the movie. Like, oh, right, I've lost all my clothes and stuff. And then they show him begging, and then in the next scene's like, he's got a t-shirt and he's gone to America. I'm like, how? What?
Yeah.
Like,
That
any problem
confusing.
you encounter, next scene, you've just somehow solved it.
The plot always moved forward, in a specific direction without any stutters, regardless of what happened, really. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, no, that's one of my key problems. Like the one Chris highlights there is when he's begging for money, and then all of a sudden, literally 2 seats later, he's got to America. And I'm like, hang on,
Yeah.
you're paying by cash for everything. How the fuck did you get enough cash to fly from Brazil to America?
I don't know how he gets across like the border or anything like that. Like they just gloss over that. But we don't know how much time is passing.
There's also one... Well, we know exactly. It's 17 days, if I remember correctly, because they do the instant counter.
Oh, is it? Of course it is.
Yeah, it
Yep.
took him 17
days to get to America.
And Rio is like I'm pretty sure it's towards the south of Brazil as well. Something like the southern coast.
The middle.
It's the middle, but Brazil is so huge that...
Rio?
It's still quite a distance.
I did Google
Yeah.
it because I googled his like when he first transforms. I googled how far his journey was, and when he first changes, and he ends up in Guatemala. And it was,
Well,
yeah.
It took him 17 days to get from there to there. And that was without incidents, that's without jumping around as Big Green Boy.
Yeah, he did it all on Edward Norton's legs.
Not
No,
from,
no,
Perfectly.
not from Rio de Janeiro to Guatemala. He does that as Hulk in like 1 day or something. Somehow.
Yeah.
Which
He goes from,
I
he
do-
go- he goes from penniless naked man to getting into America there somehow.
Yes, as Edward Norton. Yes.
He's white, so he can just get off the border pretty easily, I imagine.
There's another point later in the movie where they're like, okay, we've got $40 in cash, we can't use any of the credit cards, and then literally the next scene, they buy a car. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, what? Where'd you get the, did you pay $40 for that?
Yeah.
We're jumping around a bit here.
True. Anyway, back to the sarsaparilla line, where he's fixing machinery for his quite nice boss, to be honest. As sweat factory owners go, he's quite a nice man. Very lax on his food hygiene standards, but pretty nice man.
Bottles are getting filled, man.
And he cuts himself, does our Edward Norton, while fixing this thing. And I quite like this as a scene, where he loses it up until the point where it's like, okay, right, it's safe, I found it. And literally, like, 3 bottles down. A big glob, like, there's a bottle full of his blood. Just, like, 3 bottles
You
down.
did not look very hard, sir. You did not look hard at all.
But this is our inciting incident, so to speak. This is what's going to get the US military to find him. But first, we've got some other plot-related setup to do. because he goes home after his job. He's like, thank God that my blood didn't get out into the ecosystem there. I could have killed the man with my radioactive plasma. But, well, first of all, we'll mention that there's a hot Brazilian lady who only has eyes for Edward Norton because he's Edward Norton, I guess.
She is
Damn right.
sweaty her entire performance.
She's
Covered
always
in
wet
sweat.
in some way, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's either just got out of the shower or she's working in a factory and she's just
I mean, she has
absolutely moist.
2 scenes.
Yeah, and she's thoroughly moist in both of them.
I can't remember if she even says anything.
She doesn't, I don't. I think she says like one thing to him when he like kisses her awkwardly when he's escaping the US military. But anyway,
it's before that when she panics when he's climbing down the window.
Anyway, she gives him the eyes, but he's on his way home because he's got a rendezvous with a more important person in his life. That's right, Mr. Blue. A man on the other side of a computer who knows something about radiation poisoning, something about his situation, and is trying to help him through finding a cure, which apparently involves finding rare flowers and chopping them up into vials of antidote, which apparently will help him. They don't help him, though, and he's quite upset about it. And Mr. Blue asks... Is this where Mr. Blue asks for a blood sample?
Yes.
Or is that later?
Yes.
No, it's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Blue asks for a blood sample, and Edward Norton, in his infinite wisdom, is like, sure, I'll just mail that in the US postage system. There's no checks that go into that sort of stuff as they go across borders or anything.
Also, I'm sure that blood won't, completely have coagulated with no refrigeration.
Ugh, what a lovely thought. Here's another scene, though, why I didn't feel sorry for him. Was even because when that happened, and the flower failed, he just kind of went... He kind of did like a cheeky smile and closed his laptop and moved on. He didn't sit there and ponder going, shit, shit, shit. He just went, okay, next thing. And got on with it.
It would have been kind of cool if, like, it failed and then he gets angry because he's, the Hulk and his heart rate's going up and he's like, shit, and then, he has to calm himself down
shit, yeah.
to, like, illustrate to us the problems of him getting angry.
Yeah,
but,
there was no time to linger on the failure. And that's just a theme. Because everything happens at such a rapid pace.
One of the issues with the opening is, apart from obviously when the military eventually find him, he's one of you mentioned previously, he's kind of got himself sorted. Like, yes, he's in a shite living situation and he's failing to make a cure, but otherwise it's like he's going onto the anger control stuff. He seems to be generally playing it smart, avoiding bad situations. He doesn't get angry at all in the opening until the military arrives. It's like he's pretty sorted.
Yeah, he seems to be doing it very good considering the circumstances, and he seems at peace with it all as well, which is weird considering he's constantly chasing a cure, and he's clearly not. He wants to get back, but he doesn't seem too broken up about the fact he's there. It's unusual, I feel.
See, I bought that he was genuinely I don't know, I think he's just got used to the situation that he's in, and he's just trying to deal with it in a calm way, because if he doesn't deal with it in a calm way, he will go Hulk and kill everyone.
Yeah, it's fair. And to be honest, it's such a small thing to mention. It is a nitpick. I mean, it's not a huge deal. The opening is pretty good.
Yeah, again, the first half of the film thoroughly enjoyed, even with some of the flaws that do crop up.
Like, I could buy that this man tries to kill himself at one point, but I don't think it doesn't...
He does have a depressed angle to him, and Edward Norton, to his credit, is very good in this film. I buy him for the most part as a unassuming scientist man.
If he'd come back for the Avengers, I would have been like, yeah, well, he fits. I mean, I like the guy we got in this place. Can't remember his name.
Mark Ruffalo. I don't think he would have fitted. That I feel like Ed Norton compared to Mark Ruffalo's got this more background, I don't know, he works better as a support character. If it was Ed Norton, he'd be more in the front, and I don't think it would work as well if he's going up against Robert Downey Jr. and people like that. But I don't
I
know.
think you could have mixed in well with them. It's just in this film, due to obviously its poor, I don't know what to call it. It's not poor direction because he does well with the role. It's more just because of how different this film is in style to the common MCU film we get a few films after this. I mean, hell, including the first Iron Man. It's just I don't know if we saw Edward Norton in a typical MCU film, I feel like he could easily pull it off and mix well with the crew that we get. But obviously, we'll never know.
Do we know why he didn't come back? Is that trivia any of us have in our heads?
Not off the top of my head.
I can't remember. I think he just wanted.
I'll look it up whilst you guys talk. So sorry if you pick up my keyboard clacks in the audio.
Anyway,
So
we'll. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, so he nails his blood, and as you were.
Yes. So I'm probably missing something in here. It's been a while. At some point, the blood that got into the sarsaparilla bottle. I don't know why I keep calling it sarsaparilla. It's not sarsaparilla. Whatever it is, it's been mailed out to the US, and none other than your friendly neighborhood Stanley Cameo drinks that and instantly gets radiation poisoning. It doesn't gestate at all. As soon as it touches his lips, he's down with the radiation poisoning.
He's like, wow.
It's potent.
Fucking potent, yeah. Considering how little blood was in that.
I feel they could have done something more interesting with that bottle instead of just as a way for the US to find him. But whatever.
I don't know what else they could have really done there.
They could have.
What
I
would
don't
you
know. Got
suggest?
some. I don't know. Abomination or something could have been created. Like they could have got that sample. Like someone could have been infected with it and like changed into something, and he'd have had to deal with that. But they didn't do anything with that. It's just like a way of finding him.
Yeah, I suppose it could have been another way of having a build up to the main antagonistic fight at the end. I suppose.
But it's fine. As a way of finding him, it's fine. It serves its purpose. It's just it wasn't as interesting as it could have been for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to slip a segment in here. Let's rate and rank this Stanley Cameo because we're going to have 23 of them by the end.
Well,
I prefer the Playboy one.
Oh, was his cameo at the party in Iron Man?
Yes,
Yeah,
he was Hugh
but he was
Hefner
mistaken
last
for the
time.
Playboy.
Well, it's not as good as that.
No.
No, it's fine.
This one didn't really have a joke or anything attached to it. It was like, oh look, it's Stanley's face.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was literally it.
And then he dies. I mean, it's not as good as Iron Man, but he's just there.
Well,
I found the thing on Edward Norton. If you want me to quickly read out a thing here.
Well, I'll just quickly say, our Stanley cameos ranked so far: Iron Man first, Incredible Hulk second, which I think might be a theme for this video. Anyway, Edward Norton.
Yeah, I'm just going to read quickly two paragraphs from an interview thing. So, back in 2014, Edward Norton said that the reason he didn't return to play the Hulk is because he'd experimented and experienced everything he'd wanted to from that kind of movie and didn't want to be tied down to the obligations that came with starring in a superhero franchise, though it was clear after the Hulk recasting was first announced that Norton was upset with how Marvel framed the two sides going their separate ways. Now, though, it seems like he looks back on his time with Marvel more fondly, and he noted that joke he made about the Incredible Hulk last year was meant to be more at his expense than Marvel's. So, basically, he was disappointed with it, but it was his choice not to come back for the role. It wasn't Marvel being like, fuck off.
It was him being an actor's actor.
I don't blame him for not committing to a franchise, because that up until now, that had not turned out well for a lot of people. So, I don't blame him. But
Yeah, especially
it's not like he was just asking for more money or anything, but he maybe did.
Yeah, especially when it's the second film in the franchise as well. So, like, at this point, literally a month after Iron Man, there's literally no way you know it will blow up into the MCU.
Like
especially considering the movie you made didn't do that well. Relative.
You could be lucky and be Hugh Jackman in X-Men, or you could be unlucky and be Chris Evans in Fantastic Four. So
Seen?
I still can't get over that. The
Chris-
first, he's Johnny Blaze.
Human Torch, yeah.
He was a torch, wasn't he? Yeah.
The first time I realised that, I was like, holy shit.
No.
So different.
Anyways.
Anyway, Stanley's dead. In real life and in this movie. But,
Damn.
he's died of radiation poisoning in this version, and old General Thunderbolt Ross out there, he's like, oh, that radiation poison in that sarsaparilla bottle, it must have been Edward Norton.
Has to have been.
I can't, there's probably some reasoning in there. I can't remember specifically why he knows it's Edward Norton who did that, but,
Gamma.
My main issue with that bit is it that easy to identify the specific factory a bottle comes from? That's my only issue with that bit. Otherwise, it's like, yeah, okay, I can buy this.
Yeah, it's probably
because
got
they know what they're looking
serial
for.
numbers and stuff on it. I'm sure it's fairly simple.
yeah, but not only do they identify the factory, they also have to identify Edward Norton at that factory. But, like, he's also not on the payroll at that factory, so they can't do that electronically. But they never send anyone to, like, confirm that he's there. They just instantly go in with the SWAT teams.
Well, the thing is, the initial investigation, he even says were just going in to find him, to see if he's there. And, keep your distance, don't do anything, because if he sees you, he's gone. And then the next scene is they're sending in the SWATs. So that baffled me a little bit.
I think we should talk about Ross and how much of an idiot he is. Because he's an idiot.
Who's Ross?
Which one's Ross? Sorry.
Thunderbolt Ross, the
general. Liv Tyler's dad in this.
He's a bit of an idiot. He's also a bit of a cunt.
He is a cunt. He's mostly an idiot. And Tim Roth is an idiot as well. They're both idiots.
I laughed at one point when this is skipping ahead a bit, but it's like on the university campus when he talked to his daughter, and then he clearly sees his daughter walk right up to the Hulk, and then the helicopter comes in and he goes, "Fire, damn it!" And then a few seconds later he's like, "Hold your fire! What are you doing?" I'm like, "You told them to. You saw your."
got that remote. It's just like, what an idiot.
He is a fucking idiot, but we'll get to that later.
So Ross sends in the SWAT team without telling them anything, which is a ridiculously stupid move. Mm-hmm. And then he sends them in with tranquilizers that bounce off of the Hulk. They don't do anything to him.
Like, clearly they were supposed to trank him before he hulked out, but it was like, what is his plan if they fail to do that?
Yeah. And he's just going the whole time like, no, no, no! And it's like, you asked for this to happen. Like, what were you thinking?
I mean, like, you could argue that he's very confident they'll catch him unawares as Ed Norton, but Ed Norton's even before he's very good at this. He's very good at staying off our radar, so he's probably going to notice you. They should have had some contingencies in there.
And again, like Ben brought up, actually told them at least what the danger level should have been, because they were like, so how dangerous is this guy? Will he put up a fight? And then he's just like, he's a fugitive, he stole military secrets, and he's very good at hiding. Don't wait to see if he's up for a fight. It's like, just fucking tell them, dude. He's bulletproof.
There should have been
I can
something.
smash shit.
I mean, it does kind of become like a plot point later when, like, the Abomination, I can't remember what his name is before he becomes the Abomination, but he's like, hey, you really should have told us about that.
You could just say the Brit, because they somehow managed to make a Brit the villain of this film.
He's Russian.
The one Royal Marine they bring into the film, and they make him the main bad guy by the end of it. It's like, God damn it, how do you always do that, Hollywood?
He's Russian, isn't he?
He's Russian.
Russian, raised in
England.
Yes,
and
Russian.
part of the Royal Marines.
Yeah.
He's not actually Russian. He was born in Russia, raised in England.
I love that they really big him up. Like, straight off the bat, it's like, Neil Blonsky, Russian, raised in England, Royal Marine, badass.
All round.
He's your ace.
He gets out the helicopter, and it's Tim Roth, and he's kind of small. But
He is tiny. It's like we've got the biggest superhero for him to go up against. We'll pick the tiniest man, no more than 4'9" at any given moment. I don't know how tall he is, but he's 4'9" now in my head.
I mean,
He's also a bit of an idiot. Like, when you see your whole team get taken out by this thing after they've been consistently shooting it, why do you think when it's walking away from you, you're going to keep on shooting it?
Yeah, there's plenty to mention about this guy as we get on. To be honest, he does lots of questionable shit, but yeah,
we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I'm sure.
I only bring that up because I'm at the point in the film now, because we've got it playing on live stream here in the background where the Hulk's just taken out the whole fucking SWAT team.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we'll talk about now, because we're basically there in the plot synopsis. This action scene is, in my opinion, the best part of the whole film.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I do, like you mentioned before, the horror aspect where they build up the Hulk, where he just starts grabbing people from the shadows and like tossing things at them from the shadows. It's like, I like the build-up. The effect's not that great, but I like the build-up. I
really like that they take us and put us into perspective of the guys going after the Hulk, because if you're like going from the Hulk's perspective, he's never going to lose. He's, super strong, bulletproof, but you go from the soldier's perspective and it really sells like the horror of fighting the Hulk.
I would say I don't know why the Hulk is walking everywhere. It's a bit weird to see the Hulk just kind of strolling around.
I mean, the Hulk in general in this movie is kind of calm.
Yeah,
like, he hulks out and then he gets into action scenes. He just kind of like saunters around and like
he's way too chilled about this. He should be like. He would have like ripped the factory apart and then just jumped like 15,000 feet in the air.
And in later films, he like goes on rampages in cities and stuff and doesn't give a fuck about the surrounding population. But this one is just like, okay, I've dealt with the threat. I'll just walk off now.
Like, in this movie, he barely really hurts anyone. They're like, oh, he's such a threat. If I Hulk out, it's going to be a real problem. Like, yeah, he kills some civilians in this fight, but they're the only guys outside of, like, people actively trying to hurt him that he ever really hurts.
And keeping in mind, these civilians, as Chris put it, like there's a thing throughout the beginning here where they were harassing the girl that had eyes for him before, and then they also like tried to basically beat the shit out of him whilst the SWAT team was chasing him. So again, another threat that he dealt with really, and then just fucked off. Also, that guy is dead. Like, they walked past him after the Hulk threw him through, like, 2 walls and a window, and he like, breathed a sigh of, like, I was just like, no, you're dead, sir.
Yeah, he's fucked up.
You got thrown through 2 metal sheets and a fucking window. You are dead.
Hulk is very calm. He only ever fights the people in self-defense, really, which is actually quite strange. I don't really think about that.
It's fine because, like, the Hulk wants to be, like, left alone, and he's not evil, the Hulk. He's just angry. But in this, he's not angry enough.
He's actually just excited.
He's very excited.
He's sometimes sexually aroused.
Not even a little excited?
God, it's such a weird scene. This whole thing, though, was quite good. It was a very good introduction to the Hulk. It built a lot of tension.
Yeah.
It was very well done, actually. I was surprised when I was watching. I was like, oh, yeah, I remember this scene. I was like, this is actually really quite good.
Yeah.
Anyway, the action scene's over now, and we're in Guatemala or wherever, and the days without incident, it's 0. Because we just had an incident.
Like,
And he
I
goes
think
to being a beggar on the street.
Ed Norton really comes across it, like, properly, like, desperation here. Like, he just looks like in a terrible place.
I agree with you. This whole sequence is really good until he gets his first coin and somehow changes that coin into a fortune. Like, this man's an amazing entrepreneur. He can take any amount of money and change it into enough money to buy anything.
But
Yeah.
I don't think they got the scale of his journey down very well in this, because it looks like he goes from a rainforest to, like, a patch of rainforest nearby. It's actually 7,000 kilometers, which is insane.
In 17 days. With no money.
No. Like what he does with the Hulk.
Oh, as the Hulk, right, yes. Okay, right, cool.
And
I thought you were talking about...
No.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
he crosses across the entire top of, like, South America into, like, near Mexico. And I don't know how nobody sees him. But that's a crazy distance, and doesn't really show that very well. But it's nitpicky. I'm doing a lot of nitpicking because I've got no opinion otherwise about this film. But
Well, it's nitpicky in a way. I mean, it's quite important to the whole thread of it, because it's literally traveling so far. But I guess it just doesn't really matter. It would just take up time, but at the same time, it is very strange that he can do all this. But at the same time, it's not really something that you could show a few scenes, maybe him jumping there as the Hulk or something. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. It really doesn't. It doesn't matter at all. It's like nothing. Oh, he does actually. He walks into Mexico with no trousers, nearly no trousers.
Yeah, true.
Which is,
No, that's kind of the worst thing about it, really, is the fact that he's kind of fine pretty much straight away, because they don't really address any of the fallout from him hulking out, or that scene we just had. There's no fallout to it. We've moved on now, and any fallout we did have was so quick, and it was more to do with the fact he's now out on his ass.
I'd argue the fallout is more that he's pissed off little British man, more than anything.
No, there's fallout on that, but there's nothing for the character himself, Edward Norton.
Yeah.
There's nothing for him. He's just like, shit, I'm on my ass again. I've got to get to the university or whatever. There's no shit. I hulked out and destroyed that dude's factory, ruined his livelihood, and did all this. There's none of that. It's more all to do with
He just goes from hulking out to beggar to somehow in America. It's like,
that again. Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
One thing I forgot to mention in the plot synopsis, which is quite important. He's going to America because he needs data on his first transformation to get a cure.
Yes.
That's why he's going to America.
Yeah, the whole plot thread is he wants to cure himself, and the other guys don't want that. They want Hulk. That's
They want
Yeah.
to make more Hulks.
They consider him U.S. military property.
I really like how they tie it into Captain America with this.
Yeah.
Do they?
I kind of like that.
I missed all that.
Well, they
The
say like
Super
World War
Serum
II
program,
Super
Super
Soldier
Soldier.
program, which is obviously Captain America, and it just
Yeah,
it's
I
just
must have
cool.
switched off at that point.
It's not really a very interesting scene. Mostly, it's Tim Roth telling Ross that he's an idiot. But
Yeah, was it that scene where he gets injected, or was going to get injected?
I think that's the scene after.
It's where they propose it.
It's where
Okay,
they.
I mean,
Yeah,
we'll throw
coffee.
we'll throw that scene in here because we got some mini British Man and Thunderbolt Ross things to go through here. So like
I
after
mean, it is next anyway.
I'll probably touch on like a lot of different things with them. I don't know because after that, little British man talks to Thunderbolt Ross and he's like, "Yo, shit, man, you're terrible at your job. tell us something about it next time. And also, I want a little bit of that juice, baby." And so there's probably some scenes in between there. They gave him that juice, baby. And at this point, I was like, "Wait a sec, you guys already have the super soldier serum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You make him into a super soldier, like with very little side effects as well, apparently."
The only fuck up with regards to applying the serum to him was that he got cocky in front of the Hulk, and the Hulk just literally
What?
beat his face in.
Well,
But
then
even
they-
after that, he
they went-
recovered.
They go too far with it because they keep injecting him, and eventually it just kind of tips him over the edge. I think, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, but if they just
don't
kept him
really
at that
show what
initial
kind of strength
dose.
he's got. I don't know if he's
Well,
like
it-
as strong as Captain America. or
Well, this is
anything like that.
this might be slight spoilers for my impressions of the Avengers later on, but he kind of gets Captain America acrobatics powers.
It's
And like
true.
he just runs up and just kind of like pirouettes around the Hulk a bit, and gets smashed
Yeah.
into a wall.
Yes.
We don't know about his strength, but he's definitely like super agile, reasonably coordinated, and
Fast.
as we see, fast. And after we see the Hulk literally kick his face in, and they're like, "Oh God, we don't know if he's going to recover," and then we just see that he's basically got super fucking regeneration as well.
Yeah, like you don't need the Hulk; you've got it already.
Yep.
To the extent that you want it, you've got it already. You don't want more Hulks because they're
You literally
uncontrollable.
just-
But
Yeah.
you've got it in these guys.
You just need to sort out his like strange attitude, his cocky attitude. You're sorted.
Give it to a better soldier. You've got more of this serum, right?
Yeah, that's the first thing I kind of thought, especially during the fight scene later on. I was like, you've actually just made a super soldier, and the Hulk. Why
I
would
was
you want
watching
the
him, I was
Hulk?
just-
You can't do anything with the Hulk. These guys, you just get 20 of them, you'll be sorted, mate.
I was watching him dance around the Hulk, and I was like, "This is Cap."
Yeah,
Yeah, it is. It's very Cap. It's not as good, but it's.
Oh, it's not as good, but it's Cap.
Yeah, but they don't go into like the mental stuff. Like, you don't know if he's already gone a bit nuts. Cause
yeah.
it's
You
like,
don't know if
he-
the
he
serum
just
made
kind
him
of does
crazy
it.
or not.
because that was the problem with like Red Skull. Anyway, I mean, we haven't got to that yet, but
I don't know who's this Red Skull character. He sounds
I-
interesting.
I don't know. Wow.
He sounds like he'll be a major revolving plot element for many movies to come.
Yep, that's the guy.
That's
the guy.
him. Anyway, Edward Norton. That's all we need to know about Mini British Man. He's souped up now and ready for round 2 or whatever. Anyway, Edward Norton has hiked his way across continental America, and he's now in. Where is this university? It looks like it's like on the East Coast somewhere. Maybe
It is-
it looks like a Boston or somewhere like that.
It is in Virginia.
I don't know where that is, but
Neither do I.
Virginia.
It's in
Mountain
America, that's all we need to
Mama.
know.
Get Todd Howard on it.
take me
Where he
home.
meets
By
or where he
roads I
spies
know.
on,
West Virginia, a mountain mama. Anyway, I know too much of that song apparently. Anyway,
gonna say,
he's
this
made
is
it to
gonna
this
be
place
long
because
enough
this
as
is
it
the
is.
place where he got turned into the Hulk and maybe smashed some people's faces in, killed some other people. But at any rate, he gets there, and what's the first thing he does? Not really find information. He goes to a placard and sees Liv Tyler's name there because he's smitten for that kitten. And
I was going to say, I can't remember her name. I was just like, it's the lass
Betty
from Lord of the
something.
Rings.
Betty Ross.
Betty Ross.
I literally meant the actress's name. I was just like, hey, I know you from somewhere. And then I looked up her IMDb. I was like, oh yeah, Lord of the Rings, that's it.
Oh yeah, I could only see Arwen for like the first 10 minutes she was on the movie.
Hmm.
And I was like,
I went with a
"Damn."
more annoying accent. Bruce,
Yeah.
is that you?
That's actually just a normal voice.
She sounds the same to me, to be honest. Just kind of Arwen-y, just like, oh, I'm fading.
I was gonna say,
There was
I
a
thought
moment
sounded
where she went
fine.
like, "Don't go," and all I could think was Frodo. He was like, "Don't go to the light." I was like, God. It's Arwen.
Anyway,
Yeah.
he looks up his booze name on the list. He's like, shit, can't be seen around here. So I'm going to go stay at the local pizzeria. Because the man will remember me. He really liked me, and he'll do anything for me, including harbouring an international fugitive and
Who
giving
is
me
he,
all
by
his
the way?
money.
Is he
No
literally
idea.
just...
He's nobody. He's just a pizza.
That's his only scene in the movie, so
Right.
just a random guy.
Ah, okay. I assumed...
I think he owns the pizzeria that they went on dates to.
Hmm.
I think that's
Fantastic.
the extent of that man's character.
Are you suggesting that the actor himself is famous for something?
Me? No, I genuinely thought... Well, I was watching it, so I thought... Because he does a lot for him, and he's very fond of him, so I instantly came to the assumption there's
You
some
think he was like a
relation
well-known
here.
comic character or something?
Because I stepped out the room for a little bit, came back, and they were having this heartfelt conversation. He was like, can I live with you for a bit? And I was like, okay, so this is clearly some sort of... There's something there, as in a relation or something like that. But, okay, he's just a pizzeria guy.
He just owns a pizzeria.
Sure. All
He just Edward Norton ordered a lot of pizzas back when he worked at this university. This is just him paying it forward.
Clearly.
And then we get definitely the worst security guard of a uni campus ever.
I mean, to be
It's
fair.
just like-
To be honest, I quite liked this scene. It's just like
I both liked it, but at the same time I was like, you're a terrible security guard.
He bribes the security guard, and then he bribes someone in the computer place with pizza. Everyone in
Pizza's the
uni
ultimate
is
bribe,
bought
apparently.
With pizza.
I
I appreciate it.
sounds about right, to be honest.
I like the security guard. He's like lifetime of stable security or a 10-inch margarita.
Exactly.
Margarita, mate.
He's literally like, at first he's like, sorry, yeah, I can't really let you in. He's like, I'll give you one for free. It's like, you just happen to have a spare.
Yeah. Also, as a like security guard, I'd have been really suspicious if like you. Yeah, of course, you just had a spare pizza that you're willing to give to me just to get
Exactly.
into the labs where I've already told you there is no one to deliver a pizza to.
Yeah, I'd be like, this seems pre-planned.
He goes to log onto the computer, and the antivirus is Norton Security.
I laughed at that.
And
I was just like, oh.
what? Really?
I was like, when I saw it, I was like, is this like an inside joke because it's Edward Norton
Yeah.
and it's Norton antivirus?
I mean, that's pretty incredible if it is.
It must have been. Was it like an endorsement? Does Ed Norton like endorse it?
Does he own Norton Internet Security?
I was just laughing because Norton's terrible.
No. Well, that's us not getting a sponsorship.
Well, it's
Damn
me
it.
not getting
Did
sponsorship.
he even
maybe,
exist
right?
anymore?
I don't know, actually.
I have no idea.
Anyway.
Yeah?
Yeah, Norton Internet Security. Are they even
Yeah,
around?
it's-
I exclusively use AVG free, so I have no idea. I've long ago forgotten the.
I've never
I've
used
not. I'm not looked up internet securities in a long time. But anyway, Edward Norton's bribing people left and right with deep pan margaritas, and he's made his way into the university lab where he can't log. Does he try his own login or something like that, or does
No,
he go
he-
straight to using Liv Tyler's login?
Straight to hers.
And which is the same for the last 5 years apparently. And he's searching his name in. He's searching all. Well, the reason I say it's the same for the last 5 years apparently is when back at Northumbria, they made me change my password every 30 days, and it had a lot of
Yeah.
ones on it by the time I left that university. But anyway, he can't find the data on the computer. He's like, well, I'm shit out of luck. Sorry, Mr. Blue, we're fucked. And Mr. Blue's like, well, what you going to do? He's like, piss off, and leaves back to his pizzeria hideout. And he's like, well, I've got to leave here now as well because
Well, he
They'll
needed lunch,
know.
right? He gave away his pizza.
it's true. I need feeding, and I need to exploit this kindly old man for all he's worth.
Can I have the fourth pizza in about 3 hours? It's cutting into my livings.
Can it also have some cash?
And this free room.
I also need your whole restaurant. Just give it to me.
I need your pension. I need your national security number.
He didn't do. To be fair, the old man didn't exactly do a great job of keeping a secret, because literally the next scene, fucking his ex walks in and the Italian guy's like, I'm closed now. She's just asks him once more, and he's like, oh, fine, okay.
Well, to be fair,
Immediately blows his cover.
to be fair, she did see him, and like for Ed Norton, meant to be this super cautious man who can avoid like international borders like nobody's business. Literally, just bumbles his way out. He's like, ah, shit, runs outside, hides behind a bin, and then runs away in the rain, only to be found 10 minutes later
Yep.
by one lady in a car.
Liv Tyler's an incredible investigator. That's all I can say about it.
Maybe Thunderbolt Ross should be hiring her.
Maybe, but actually,
Just say it's a good thing that her and her father aren't on speaking terms, otherwise he'd be fucked.
yeah, you just go to her and be like, "Where is he?" She'd be like, "Fine, give me 2 seconds." But
I got
speaking of
this.
this scene, though, right? This is what it is a minor thing, but I don't understand why she has a boyfriend. He does. There's no point in his existence.
The point is he serves a function in the script to call the military here. That's the only reason he's here.
Does he call the military?
No, he
Yeah.
doesn't. I mean, does he?
When?
I mean, from what I got from that scene with him, because he doesn't even like her father. Literally afterwards, he's like, "I know why now. She never spoke about you. Fuck you."
Yeah,
'Cause-
Yeah, Thunderbolt Ross goes to him and says, "You did the right thing, son, calling me." And then he's like, "No, I didn't. You tried to kill her, basically. And that's why I realised why she never talked about you." And then he's like, "Peace out, bitch."
Yeah, that's one thing I kind of liked what they did with him, though, because, I mean, yes, the boyfriend was pointless, but I do like that they didn't make him, like, just the generic, oh, I'm pissed off because my girlfriend's now gone with her ex. He was reasonable. He was just like, fuck you tried to kill your own daughter.
I mean,
Yeah, but-
he should also be a little pissed off.
Yeah, he should be.
I mean-
His whole life's been uprooted.
I mean, you know, yeah. She just kind of went, "Oh, my."
I know, but
ex
we've seen the
back in town."
generic boyfriend being pissed off for this, like, 1,000 times in many other shite films.
That guy looks
True.
like Dracula.
He's Phil Dunphy from Modern.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's literally the only thing I know him from is he's Phil Dunphy.
Yeah.
Can't unsee it when I've seen it.
No, me neither. I just can't take
I
him remotely seriously.
Don't know what any of you are on about.
He's a goofy dad in an American. No, is it a sitcom?
Yeah, it's kind of a sitcom.
Yeah, and I can only see him as a goofy dad now. And
He pops up like surprisingly often in films. He was in Saving Private Ryan as a soldier. I was like, no,
Was
I
he?
can't see this. I think he was in something as not Saving Private Ryan, Black Hawk Down, wrong war movie. I said the wrong thing.
Never seen that.
At any rate, yes, he's in Black Hawk Down as a soldier. I'm like, I just can't unsee you as being this goofy dad.
It's just a goofball. Anyway, yeah. So they found each other now. In the rain.
yeah.
It's beautiful.
He's also asking her for cash and money and stuff. Like he's just a bad friend, really. He turns up after 5 years. He's like, "Hey, I know I'm seeing you, and I kind of dumped you out of nowhere, but can I have your money?"
She's just the addicted ex. She's like, "Fine, you can take it all. I love you." And he's like, "Get away from me."
Well, he didn't just dump her. He
nearly killed her.
It's a sign of affection, all right.
Yeah.
That's what I tell
Great.
my girlfriend.
Don't tolerate domestic abuse, kids.
Don't.
Anyway, we get some scenes of some, like, awkward moments between the two, and then after that we get the super soldier serum scene, and then after that we finally get to the university campus.
Yeah. Well,
Another favourite scene of mine.
We kind of talked about a lot of the stuff that happens here, so yeah, we can jump to the. Basically, he wakes up the next morning after she's given him some shit, and he's like, "I'm going to take the train out of here," and she's like, "Hey, at least can I walk you to the station?" And they set off. Except as they're going to the station, apparently involves walking straight through the middle of the university. Fine enough, fair enough. But the military catches in the corner of his eye some really bad FBI agents trailing him. And
Yep.
action scene. Oh, also she gives him his data, the data he's looking for. I keep forgetting, like, this is like kind of the whole point of the movie. Like, I'm talking about all this other ancillary shit. I'm like, oh yeah, no, he did the thing he was here for.
Yeah, gives him his data
Yeah.
and then he swallows it, which is actually quite clever.
Yeah, I did quite like that, although I was just like, that's damn depressive that you're able to swallow that fucking thing.
Get it down, you son.
He's got a big throat, as Ed Norton.
Jesus.
Yeah, let's just say he had to do a lot of shit when he was in Mexico to get over that border. You don't get over borders in 17 days unless you're doing some deep throating on the side.
Oh, Christ.
Dear.
There's a reason it wasn't shown.
There's a reason they cut that part of the movie out.
Anyway, yes, they chase our boyo down, eventually corner him in a very convenient hallway of fire some sleeping grenades. At least I assume that's what they were supposed to do. And he hulks out, and we get another fun little action scene.
He hulks out because Liv Tyler's like, get away
Being
from me,
restrained.
military, and running straight into an active fire zone and getting rugby tackled. And he's like, that pisses me off.
Don't
How
you
dare
rugby
you,
tackle
rub-
my girlfriend, who's not my girlfriend, but is.
Basically, is. Forget
Basically
that.
is.
That other guy's just forget
Yeah,
about him.
he was the other guy was
Wasn't there.
instantly dumped.
I mean, I already forgot about him, I'm not gonna lie. I was just waiting for him to become useful, and then he never did, really. But anyway, yes, he hulks out. And chaos ensues.
In another surprisingly good action sequence. It escalated in a fun way. I liked their weird sonic cannons as a way of
Those are-
subduing the Hulk.
They're
To be
Stark
fair, I actually-
cannons. They are.
Universe building.
I also quite liked those because when they came in, this is me going back to me being slightly a military geek way back when I saw them. I was like, wait, are those Sonic? Because that's actually a thing. Like the sound isn't visualized in that same way, but Sonic cannons are actually a thing. So when I saw them, I was like, oh, cool. Well, that'll work on the Hulk.
In this bit, we see a lot more of the Hulk's design, and I don't like it.
Yeah, no,
He-
Hulk looks
he-
way better later.
He never looks like he's there, and also he's far too veiny.
He's so vain.
There's too much detail.
Yes.
Very muscly, isn't he? He ripples, some might say.
He's way.
Also, he's much like darker, like to the point of nearly being like emo Hulk. Is the way I would describe it.
He's going through
yeah,
his teens, he's fine.
the dark of shade is too green. The shade of green is too dark, is what I was going to say.
Yeah,
There you go. There.
yeah. It doesn't look as. I don't know. They try to. It seems like they try to tone down and make him look a tad more realistic, but it just looks a bit. Yeah.
Like by adding so much detail, it kind of like highlights the flaws of 2008 CG. I'm sure it looked fine at the time, but like now it just looks bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, another reason why I assumed Iron Man came out.
Also, going back to the terrible general as well, like, at this point, because his daughter's appeared and she's like, hey, stop this. And he has her restrained and is like, she'll see what a monster he is. It's like, she's already seen it, dude. She nearly died on their first encounter.
Yeah.
Why do you think this is going to change anything, you fucking moron?
He's an idiot.
Yes, nothing he does make sense. I enjoyed this action scene. I didn't necessarily enjoy, what's his face, Superboy, not so Cap. I didn't.
Mini bread.
Yeah,
That's his name now.
I don't get his whole motivation, to be honest. I don't
The,
understand
the
his,
motivation.
I wanna
The
fight.
motivation is, as they set it up, he's getting old, but he doesn't know how to do anything but fight. So he
Yeah, but
wants
he
a
really
younger
wants
body.
to fight, and he really wants to fight the Hulk in particular.
Yeah.
He's
he
like,
really,
oh, this
like,
guy's
wants a
clearly
challenge for
my
some reason.
challenge, my adversary, my equal, and he keeps going to fight him. I'm like, what are you doing? Are you
We've currently got the him versus Hulk action scene on screen. I'm like, this is really cool. I really enjoyed the scene, but at the end when he's just like, is that all you got? Like a meter away from the Hulk. I'm like, why are you doing this, you suicidal idiot?
It's really cool, but there's a bit where Ross says, "My God, he's doing it," and I'm like, "Doing what? Dodging?
Yeah.
He's not
Yeah.
doing anything."
I mean, to be fair, can you dodge like that? Dodging the Hulk is pretty impressive.
It's pretty impressive, but it's not gonna take him down. And he seems the only purpose of I can't even remember his name.
Brit. Just
What?
call him Brit.
Tim Roth, man.
Mini Brit.
Mini Brit is to lure Hulk into the Sonic cannons. So why don't they just bring in the Sonic cannons in the first place?
He didn't lose shit though. The Sonic Cannons drove in after the fight. It was pretty much over.
I don't know.
He says, bring him into this, but the fight's pretty much done at that point. I can't remember how it ends actually, to be honest.
The Hulk just kind of like throws shit at the cannons and leaves. And
No,
he's like,
no,
"Hey, bitch,
how,
fight
like,
me!" And then he smacks him into a wall.
I don't remember how the fight between Mini Brit and the Hulk ends.
Literally after the Sonic cannons don't work, he then like re-engages with the Hulk, and then at one point there's like a little standoff, and for some reason even though he's clearly beaten and there's not much else reinforcements coming in, he walks up to the Hulk and is like, "Is that the best you've got?" And then the Hulk just kicks him in the face, which basically looks like it should have killed him.
I love that. I love that bit so much. He just looks like a rag doll. He flumps against the tree.
It's hilarious, but at the same time, like, you're a fucking idiot.
He's just How do you know you're
gonna heal from that?
He doesn't. I don't get it. Yeah, I didn't get that thing in the slightest.
I assumed he was dead. I thought, because I remembered that there was like another version of the Hulk at the end of the film. I assumed it was going to be someone else. Because I was like, there's no way he survived that. He was literally a ragdoll.
He's clearly cool, a badass, and is very proficient at what he does, but he's also a moron, like you say. And it's the same thing as the first introduction to the Hulk, where he just stands there and shoots him, and he's efficiently reloading and aiming and shooting, but it's already very, very clear that you're not doing anything. Even when he's a super soldier, his main attack, or his only attack, is a pistol or a gun, when we know it doesn't work. So the whole reason for him being there and doing anything is null and void anyway. So I just didn't get any of that shit. I was like, what could you possibly... Best case scenario right now, everything goes to plan. What's going to happen? What are you going to achieve? Nothing. Because you can't hurt the Hulk. You may be able to dance and do the jive, but that's about it.
Their plan for containing the Hulk was clearly the sonic cannons to hopefully like knock him out or something. So once the sonic cannons were destroyed, it's like, what are you hoping to do?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't buy it either way, but...
That includes Mr. Military Man, who we've just got to the scene of, he sees his daughter walk up to the Hulk, then he goes, "Where's that helicopter? Fire, damn it!" And then he realizes that a few seconds later, it's like, "Stop firing!" It's like, why? What? You saw your daughter go up there. You basically sentenced her to death. Don't act like you only just realised she's there now.
I mean, also from like a strategy standpoint, at this point, why even bother trying to fight the Hulk? All your plans to subdue him are gone. Don't shoot at him anymore. Let him leave.
And you know bullets don't work. It's like bring in the helicopter. It's like you just had like 50 caliber machine guns bouncing off him. What's a missile gonna do?
Give it up as a bad job. Let him leave. Try again another day. Like, don't bother anymore.
I've got it in my notes about 5 times that says Ross is an idiot. And I can't say it anymore. He's just an idiot.
You can keep saying it.
He's a bumbling buffoon. Absolutely.
There is a scene actually where he just looks like absolutely like, oh, I fucked up here. When the Hulk's just looking at him a bit.
I assumed the Hulk was actually like going to run at Ross and like kill him in that scene when he's like holding his daughter there, and you just see him like look at the Hulk. The Hulk just gives him an angry look and like, that's the look of, you done fucked up and I'm going to kill you now. But then the Hulk fucks off and I'm like, damn it.
He's a good guy. But the Colonel, whatever his face is, Colonel Ross, General Lightning Tits.
Thunderbolt Ross.
Thunderbolt Ross he's very broken up about the fact his daughter was put in harm's way and possibly killed, until the next scene where the guy's like, "You're lying, you don't give a shit about your daughter," and he's like, "You're probably right there." I was like, "Okay." So,
he literally just swaps back and is like, "Well, she's aiding a fugitive." It's like, make your mind up. Do you care about your daughter or not?
I know, because he definitely seemed actually genuinely like, shit, my daughter's dead.
I just killed my daughter.
Yeah, and I'm responsible and all this, and then the next scene he's kind of just chilling, like, yeah, she's helping a bad guy, and to be honest, whatever. Fuck it.
And then the scene after, they're literally like, yep, she's a fugitive now. One them both down.
Definitely. He's not even remotely, don't give a fuck. So, that tickled me a bit. So, next scene, wherever we are.
The Hulk's in the rain, and he's taken his new lady friend. Well, I say new. It's new to the Hulk, not so new to old Ed Norton. To a cave to shelter from the rain because he's a gentle Hulk.
Again,
even though he's pissed off.
An incredibly calm, angry rage monster.
He seems like a normal dude, to be honest, until people start fucking with him. The Hulk's just chilling. He's going about his business, and someone goes, "Holy shit, shoot him!" And they shoot him, and they retaliate.
The thing we just had there, where he puts her under the cave to get her out of the rain. She wakes up, freaks out, like slaps him in the face. Like MCU Hulk would have smashed some shit after that. Be like, the fuck, douche.
Then said he bangs his head in a comical fashion.
I mean, in this instance, they've set up like even through his hulkiness, he kind of cares about her, so he wouldn't smash her. I guess is what we're going for here. This is the tender "we love the Hulk" moment. We get to have a moment where we realise that he's not all bad, even though we knew he wasn't all bad to begin with.
Yeah,
That
the
was
underlying theme is that he's got some sort of control, or there is some of him in there when he's the Hulk.
I mean, I was gonna bring this up at the end, but might as well bring it up now because it's kind of like a consistent thing throughout the films. That, I mean, granted, we've kind of already acknowledged this, but once the MCU took off, they had to do, well, they didn't have to do much, but they just like seem to have completely, pretty much disavowed this film because, like, think of all the things he does in this film that we just either backtracked or he never does again. Like at the end, we have the thunderclap he does, never does that again. And then in this film, he seems to actually have decent control of the Hulk. And when he's in the Hulk form, he only attacks in like self-defense, whereas in the MCU films, he goes fucking wild as the Hulk most of the time, up until like Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah. I like MCU.
They just basically forgot everything that was in this film once the MCU was a thing.
It's one of those, like, we'll see it a lot in Thor specifically, but there's a lot of things where they're trying to build the universe, but they don't quite know where they're going like they do later. So there's some threads that just like dropped weirdly at times.
It's very proto MCU at this point. Like they're inserting references into things, but they're not doing it in the kind of more nuanced way that they do later on with the MCU. They're just kind of being like, oh look, there's a Stark thing there. Oh look, there's a Shield thing. Yeah,
they're doing it in a way that saying the Superman film that came out in 2005. They'll like mention Wayne Tech like in the background or something like that, but they're not like aiming to build a universe out of it because at this point they don't know that they're building a universe out of it.
Yeah, they're just kind of they're letting you know it's the same world we're inhabiting, but there's no real tying there at all.
Right, this film, like most people, naturally, to be fair, and couldn't blame them for it, probably will have. This film you could completely skip, and it affects pretty much nothing in the MCU.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
That's absolutely nothing.
You could absolutely skip this. Out of all the MCU films, this is probably the least essential one. Definitely. In my mind.
Like, it's not the worst one, but it's definitely like the least essential. It's just completely forgotten about.
Is it not the worst one? We're not going to get. We haven't got to that. We haven't got to that.
We'll find out.
With Thor 2 and Iron Man 3.
Yeah, I don't mind this one.
I don't mind this one, but I don't think it's...
We all said it at the beginning. This
Iron
one's
Man 3 is strides better than the Hulk and Thor Dark World, even if you don't like it.
Most people disagree with you, Chris. I wouldn't know because I haven't seen it, but I just know the internet would probably disagree with you because most people seem to hate Iron Man 3.
I don't like Iron Man 3, but at least it's got some stuff going on. This film is just nothing.
But that's for the Iron Man 3
Yes,
review.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, we'll get there.
To the next
we veered off mission statement real bad there. But anyway, he's de-hulked now, and now they're on the run, and they can't use any credit cards or shit, because the government will track that down. In fact, they've only got what's in a wallet. And he's like, you can't use any of this. And I'm like, well, can I have my lip gloss? And he's like, yes. Well, can I have my watch? I'm like, fucking take everything that's not a credit card, okay? Do you not understand what I'm aiming for here? Are you thick? Anyway.
Purple trousers. Purple trousers.
That's one of those references.
It's terrible. It's like that goddamn reference in X-Men 1 where he says, oh, yellow spandex, that would be terrible. No, it wouldn't. It would be better. Stop it.
It worked in first class.
This is before the MCU decided they could actually do comic book accurate things and it's cool, instead of just being like, oh, it's not cool.
Yeah, this is back when they were still like doing these semi like not realistic but more grounded stuff.
Hence Veiny Hulk. I do like in the beginning of the movie, well, not the beginning, the first bit of the movie, where he is trying to find some trousers and then looks at that girl's fat ass and is like, yeah, that'll do.
Oh my god, that would not happen nowadays.
I would have been so weirded out if I was the shopkeeper.
This girl's ass is about the same size as Hulk. That'll work. That just reminded me of it anyway,
but
yeah, that's fair.
This is one of those superhero films that doesn't commit to being a superhero film. They bring in the purple trousers, like, oh, very funny, and then someone on the news is like, oh, it was a massive Hulk. Or they're like, we put the two mixtures together and it would be an abomination. I'm like, oh good, you said his name. That was it.
That's literally just the setup for his name. It's literally the because like during the uni campus fight, 2 kids like record it on their phone, and then are in a report later, and they're like, he was like some kind of Hulk, and then they just use that as his name. It's like, the Hulk is on the news. Like, when did this become his official name?
Yeah.
It's
dumb.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, it's like if they did this in Iron Man, they were like, oh, some kind of man, but he was made out of iron. It's that kind of crappy little... Just call him Iron Man.
It's very steeped in the like mindset of the early X-Men films, where like we just can't do comic books right, so we won't. Basically,
it's one of these. It's like it's embarrassed to be a superhero film. It's like the problem I have with the Fantastic Four film from 2015. Like that film.
God.
That film does not want to be a superhero film, and it never calls them the Fantastic Four.
Even at the end, where it's like, what should we call ourselves? Guys, I got it. And then they showed the title on screen.
Like the thing at the end was like, this place is fantastic, and then like, oh, what's your name? And then like, oh, we'll say it. They don't say it.
We're Joe's favourite scene in the stream.
Yeah, that's one of my problems. That's one of my major problems with this film. It just takes itself too seriously and isn't like the actual MCU films where actually it commits to being what it is. It's one of those early 2000s like layoff ones.
Yeah, you can tell it was pre-Disney.
Yeah.
Pre-over the hell. Because they made it cool and they made it popular, I know. But anywho.
Inside of her wallet, as well as some lip gloss and whatnot, she has $40. Also, at some point in this area, he vomits up his memory stick, and I'm like, was that thing going to work? Because I once dropped a memory stick in a puddle, and that didn't work, and that's been bathed in stomach juices for the last 12 hours. But anyway,
stomach acid,
bathing in acid.
Speaking of Liv Tyler's wallet, we get that not sex scene.
This is the moment where we learn.
The old trouser wallet opens up a bit.
Hey!
Right.
Yeah, this scene just I wrote down a note about this one because I was very confused why it was a thing. I was like, I don't need to know that y'all can't have sex at all.
It's one of those things. It's an extension of the heart rate thing, I guess.
I know, but I felt sorry for him.
it's one of those questions of the heart rate thing that's like you didn't need to ask it because nobody really was thinking it.
Yeah, I was like, when they first mentioned it, I wasn't thinking, I wonder if the dude can have sex, or will he Hulk out and crush his lover? Well, I'm glad I know.
I don't want to think about Hulk penis.
Like again, I don't know how it wasn't the first thing that you guys thought about. It's the first thing I thought about. Well, I was just thinking, this guy's huge. His trousers are always falling off. He's clearly got a member.
You see, later on we get Abomination, and he doesn't have a penis. So that's weird.
Maybe the Hulk doesn't have a penis?
Maybe Mini Brit just doesn't have a penis.
It's true, maybe that's why he's so angry.
Maybe he's so angry.
He got it shot off, and he's like, I need to fight.
You should have seen me when I had a penis.
See the body I had 10 years ago. It had a penis and everything. It was beautiful.
Oh no.
If I take part in the Super Soldier program, maybe they can give me back my penis. Maybe I can reclaim my honor.
That's why he keeps going up against the Hulk. He just wants to die. He's like, I don't
maybe
have
he just wants
If I just kill me.
Alright, shall we crack on so that we could try and keep this an hour and a half?
Yes.
Yes.
Somewhere in there, Edward Norton gets a haircut, and then with their $40 they buy a car and go to New York. Meanwhile, in the hospital, Thunderbolt Ross is like, hey, does Mini Brit have any family? And they're like, no, he doesn't. But he's healed anyway. He's healed anyway because he's got that super healing factor because they have made super soldier serum. They've done it. They don't need... End the movie here. The US military has what it wants.
And if I were anyone but, this retarded general, my first question would have been, are you okay? Because you didn't follow my orders and you purposely took out your earpiece. We're going to have to get that sorted before we send you back in there.
There's so many questions with this whole thing.
Thunderbolt Ross is fucking stupid.
He is.
Ross is an idiot.
And so he presses onwards.
Yeah.
Speaking of stupid things to do, before they buy their car and go to New York, Edward Norton emails someone. After being like, we can't use the phones, we can't do anything. And he already knows that they got his computer in Rio de Janeiro. He's like, I'll just send an email to Mr. Blue, why not? And, so the US military knows where Mr. Blue is and who he is.
It would be illegal to look at someone's emails, so obviously they're not doing it.
The government doesn't spy on people. What are you on about?
Especially not America. In 2004.
I like when he sends the email, it hits a wall of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's just the S.H.I.E.L.D. logo comes up and it just hits it.
Who does
in
it?
the void.
Oh, I did not realise that was the Shield logo.
Yeah.
There you go,
Yeah.
some
Logo.
world building there. Yeah, I did like it. The visual, like it's very early to. It feels even early in 2008, like visualization of the internet.
Yes.
Like,
exactly,
the email
yeah.
it's going down the hyper information highway.
Yeah.
It feels well early in 2008.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're driving to New York. They have a conversation about something where I can't. Something was this. No, I can't
It was
remember.
basically she was like, "Are you sentient when you're the Hulk? Do you remember it?" And he's like, "Nah, it's kind of like when you're really high." And then basically there's a conversation about, is he aware of it? Can he control it? Does he want to control it? And he's like, "No, I want to cure it. Now fuck off."
I knew there was some importance to the conversation. I couldn't remember exactly what they said, but there you go.
It's just an underpinning of the control theme, but surely you'd want to control. Like we've said before as well, he's supposed to be really, really quite clever. Old Ed.
I mean, hell, he already seems to have control of it. I'd keep the Hulk form.
He's a genius.
He's a genius, but he doesn't entertain the idea in this conversation or mention. Yeah, maybe I can control. I should try at least because hey,
As a backup, at the very least.
Yeah.
The cure has fallen through so many times. Maybe I should learn to control it as well.
Yeah, but he's just kind of the assumption of, nope, want to cure it, we're going to cure it, fuck it. All the other shit happens in the meantime, it happens. He doesn't even consider the possibility. For a scientist, that's kind of
Well, yeah.
nuts.
It's kind of the whole comic book thing of like Bruce Banner versus the Hulk. Like they're two, like they're constantly like going up against each other inside their own head.
In this film, though, the Hulk is not really a separate entity.
Absolutely
it is
not.
later.
No,
In this
yeah.
film, it is just angry Ed Norton who can't remember things.
Yeah, they really don't. They don't give Hulk his own personality at all, which he should do, but he doesn't. He's
They
just
don't, and he never has remorse about the things Hulk does. Or he does. They just kind of happen. He kills a bunch of
Yeah.
people, and he just moves on to the next
Well,
thing.
'cause I guess he doesn't remember.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you'd be aware.
Well, yeah.
Or at least, even if you didn't remember, you'd have guilt of the fact that, oh god, what did I do? There's
Did
none
I
of
crush a man's skull with my hands yesterday? I don't know. Well, let's move on.
Why am I covered in semen? Anyway,
That's some serious questions.
just me then.
You meant She-Hulk.
At some point, Mini Brick gets injected again, and like his spine starts coming out of his body. And at that point, if I was Mini Brick, I'd have been asking someone like, "Is this normal? Should this be happening?" But he doesn't. He's setting off to go fight the Hulk. Anyway, our love-struck couple gets to New York, and there's lots of traffic jams, as is likely in New York, except that these ones are caused by the police, because they're searching because he sent that email. Even though Ed Norton doesn't put that together here, but, I mean, I guess he never puts it together. I'm just like, you stupid bastard.
Also, apparently the ports have no fucking security either, because, if they're stopping the roads to search for a fugitive, they're naturally not going to search the ports for people coming in either.
Absolutely not. Not enough resources for that.
Also, they just abandoned their truck in the middle of traffic, and I'm sure that's going to raise some red flags. Like, they're here. They're here. Trucks just got abandoned in traffic here. But anyway, they make it into New York, and they find a crazy man, who is Mr. Blue. He's obsessed with... I can't remember what he says. All I remember of him is that he's obsessed with gamma radiation to the point where he's basically suicidal.
He wanted to use it for, curing diseases and stuff and all that, and Bruce is like, no, the military wants it for military applications, fully enough, so we're destroying it.
He's also very weird and obsessed with the power that he might have. That Bruce has.
Yes.
You must be incredible and all of this stuff. He's a very strange kind of.
Did you know that he's
character.
meant to be a Hulk comic book villain?
I assumed that when he got the drip of blood in his head and he went,
Yes.
Yeah.
He's
big head.
He's meant to be called Leader. Who's got psychic power. He's like the Hulk's opposite, but he's smart instead of strong, basically.
Right. Yeah, I
But
kind of
they-
assumed there was more to come.
but they completely waste that. So
Yeah, I was going to say we never see him
Yep,
again.
never
do we?
comes back. Not after that scene, no.
Yeah.
Anyway, they decide they want to heal the Hulk, and it's somewhere I can't remember the exact order. I'm just going to talk about when they strap him down to a table and try to remove his Hulkness through their serums. It's at this point where I'm like, Ed Norton, you know the Hulk is very dangerous. You don't want to Hulk out, but this is New York City. It's the middle of a giant population center, and you're just going to strap yourself to a table and Hulk out on purpose
And hope it works.
and hope it works. Like, you don't even know if it's going to work.
I told you, man, he's a
He very
psychopath.
nearly doesn't.
He's zero remorse. He doesn't care about anyone. He just goes around stealing money and killing people, and that's just for the end of a cure. He doesn't give a fuck about anything else.
you know what? You're right. This guy's terrible.
He's
no
a terrible
hero.
person.
He has one person he cares about. That's it.
But he's willing to. I don't know. I don't know. It's a confused damn movie.
Somewhere in there's a load of sciencey mumbo jumbo. You know, oh, we've got to get rid of these particles using this, and if we do this, and then we don't do enough, if we do too much, there's a lot of mumbo jumbo in there. If they get it wrong, basically he'll die or turn into the Hulk.
Yes.
They have to get it exactly right, which,
They do.
shock and all, they do.
There's
And
Oh, at
is
least
the
they-
Hulk cured? But maybe it's just this one episode. Who knows?
I
a
wonder
lot of
what
that.
it'll
The equipment doesn't really work properly, so he's constantly kicking it.
be. Yeah, it's
which
like,
is-
come on!
It's like such a trope.
It is,
It's like, oh.
considering he both is just like, he's got his own lab, which, okay, fair enough, but then it's incredibly well equipped.
I mean, it is a university.
There's millions of dollars worth of equipment in
Yeah,
there.
even for a university.
Yeah, especially for a university.
Yeah.
I'm going off Hollywood universities because obviously we've all been to university here and they aren't that well equipped. At least not in certain sections. Depends on what the university's focus is.
But this scene leads to the whole discovery that Mr. Blue has been stockpiling old Eddie's blood.
Yep.
Well, not even stockpiling. He got one sample and he was like, it wasn't that much, so I just
Yeah.
made more.
Yeah, to reproduce it. I will say, from as soon as this realization comes to the fore, the tension from here to when No Dick Brick arrives is really well built up. Up until that point, I quite liked how it built up it raised the stakes from there to there, because the implication was kind of, oh, the military cannot get their hands on this, or everything goes to shit. We've lost. We've got the samples. There's no point. It doesn't really turn out that way at all. But that was the implication, and I thought it was done up until they do arrive really well.
I mean, I like the idea that him having a lot of this blood was like a bad idea. I feel like Ed Norton doesn't really. He's like, well, I guess we just got to get rid of it all. I feel like he should have freaked out a bit more. Been like, you
Yeah.
abused my trust.
Immediate
sent you-
red flag right there.
I sent you my blood and you abused my trust and did all of this. We're burning this to the ground, boy.
It's all well and good that you have decent intentions, being like, I want to, cure disease, make people basically immune to it, immune to diseases. Like, yeah, no, this needs to go. Fuck you.
Yeah, he definitely should have, because it's essentially the whole reason. It's like the implications are so terrible.
And also, as a plot point, I don't like it. It's something they did in X-Men a few times, where they're like, oh, there's a cure, but it's not really a cure. It doesn't.
No.
I don't like cure plot points as a thing, really.
No.
I would kind of preferred if they got here and he was like, yeah, it's just not going to work. And then then the main drive force becomes like, oh, he's got all this blood, we need to get rid of the blood, opposed to like, oh, have we cured him? No, you haven't.
They are pointless scenes because there's no way you've cured it or done anything.
It's like,
to
yep, they got rid of the Hulk in the first film. It's never coming back.
it.
Yep.
It's like, this is the first Hulk movie. Oh well, that's that. There's no way any audience members are like, I wonder.
Yeah, they should have really like drawn their attention more from the stockpile of blood than the is he cured?
Yeah.
Like,
because it's genuinely the end. That's the whole thing the military are after. So it's very tense, the stakes of the movie, but they kind of just throw it away, I think.
now we're up to the part where the military turns up, and this is really where I just lose the thread.
Yeah, we can kind of just
Yeah.
like quickly sum up this bit to finish up our synopsis because there's not really much afterwards. It's like crazy scientist guy's like, "Hey, no, this is fantastic." Then they show him all the blood. Then the military come along and eventually start shooting, drinking. They eventually capture Bruce, and then meanwhile, crazy Brit guy is like, "Hey, you, give me all that serum."
Yeah, I like Mini Brit comes in. He knocks out the lady who's interviewing the scientist, and then there's nobody else present. He's just like, "Yeah, we can strap you into all of this dubious equipment and turn you into the Hulk." Sure.
Yes.
You'd assume that
Okay.
being like the treasure trove, the military or the general at least would be completely cordoning off that whole area and being like, nope, this is everyone stay away. This is it.
And they leave more than just 2 people in that room.
Yeah, the general doesn't even give a shit. It's not mentioned once that he's even aware of the blood. The only thing he says is, if you've taken him from me, I'll do something to you. I don't know.
Have
But-
sex with you.
I'll lube you up or something. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
Alex is an idiot.
they don't address it at all. The whole reason the blood's there is to make what's he doodle? Spike Boy.
Yep.
Spike boy, spiky boy.
Spiky Boy.
Mini Brit's not so mini anymore.
But he still doesn't have a penis, unfortunately. Terrible.
He
And then-
looks terrible. Like
To be honest, this whole fight scene between the Hulk, I think this is hideous.
it's
Like, just hideous,
horrible.
top to bottom.
The movie.
It also doesn't.
No, go on.
Sorry, go on.
Fuck. The movie falls apart. The movie completely falls apart for me as soon as the conflict is resolved at the apartment and the guy's been captured, and everything just goes downhill massively.
They also fall into the what becomes a routine MCU kind of like trap in which we just had with Iron Man 1, which is, what's the bad guy? Oh, he's the same as the hero, just supposedly stronger. Yay.
He's bigger.
Yay.
He's a bigger version of the hero.
Yay. And he's
except-
smart somehow. Don't know
Except
how
this
that
villain,
works.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
this
can
villain is
speak
not
with the whole
Obadiah
cards.
With a box of scrap. No, he's not. Yeah, this is what you're saying there, Bennett. This baffled me because, well, because we've already established the Hulk is kind of, he seems all right. He's just Bruce Banner, but angry. The Abomination guy he's exactly the same as the British guy. He is the British guy, just hulked out, but it's the same person because he's
Yeah.
obsessed with fighting the Hulk. He's like, "Give me a fight. Where's the Hulk?" And I don't understand how it works.
Yeah, they
How
just,
did his character get there? Like, is it a result of the drug? Was he always just like that? Like, he just seems to just go from like reasonably competent military guy in the opening like SWAT scene to
Fucking
kind of
nutter.
idiotic in the second one, and then a complete utter fucking nutter in the last.
He's just
also
obsessed.
it kind of takes away the point of like becoming the Hulk was like a freak accident. It's not a freak accident when you do it twice. Like they do the same thing again, and the same thing happens again. So just do it to everyone.
Yeah. I mean, it throws the whole motivation of the military out the window. Everything from the super serum to this, none of it makes fucking sense.
As we already acknowledged, it's like that first dose worked perfectly. Basically, you've got your super serum.
You've got
Movie done.
perfectly manageable super soldiers, and then this guy is a sentient, evil Hulk dude. So I don't fucking know. The movie's taking shit for me.
Right? Can we basically like quickly summarize? Let's skip past the Hulk on Hulk fight.
Punchy CG on CG. Specifically, those CG helicopters I remembered looking really bad as well.
look so
At one point, like the helicopter comes down and like shoots with the minigun like up close. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is ugly. But anyway, after a lot of punchy,
We get
surprise,
the one
surprise.
use of the Hulk thunderclap, and then we get him being like Hulk smash, and then yeah, it's over.
He doesn't even sound right. I don't know why. It just doesn't sound right.
The Hulk wins despite looking and feeling outmatched in the whole fight, and there's no reason he wins. But he wins.
Yeah, I can't really remember how or why he won.
He
But he
punched
did.
him in the head.
He smashed. He did the smash, and then he got his foot caught in the ground, and then he stabbed him.
Yeah,
in
and
the
then he
stomach.
choked him out.
There was no discernible reason why he won, but he won because obviously, and then left because
Hey.
he's not the hero this town wants, but he's the one it needs. We will hunt
Hey.
him. because
I'm kind of weirded out by that because it's like he's surrounded by police / the military. Even the general who's been hunting him this whole time is kind of just looking at him like, you know what? Yep, fair enough. He like tells the soldiers like put their guns down, and is just like, why are you fleeing? Just stay now. You're literally a hero.
yeah.
What are they going to do with Abomination? Like, you cannot hold him.
Isn't
never
there a Marvel short? Like they released it, like maybe on like Captain America, like much later on. They Marvel has these shorts on some of the Blu-rays, and they like address what they did with Abomination.
Oh, really?
Like Shield did something. Like I guess Shield is holding him somewhere or something.
But how is the Hulk?
Genuinely want to know what happens there.
I'm
I
fairly
feel the
sure
way
that's
to
true.
hold him is to launch him into space.
Either way, it's unusual that he's still alive. To be honest, and he just hands him over. I don't understand that.
Also, it's like you can't. Well, I guess it's the Hulk handing it over, but Bruce is like, you can't have the Hulk because you'll make more. And then the defeat Hulk is like, here, have the Hulk. Just have a different one.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Oh,
Actually,
you've just reminded me of one scene I did like in this fight where basically it's when they've captured the Hulk and they're flying away in the helicopter, and then they start getting the reports in, and then they see him on the news feed, and then just like Bruce Banner / his girlfriend look at the general like, really? You made another one? Really?
you fucking idiot.
You saw what I became and you did that. It's like the one thing I liked in this fight where they were just like, seriously?
John was like, "Sorry, I done fucked up." Yeah, that's the end of the movie, and there's one clip at the end where he's in
The after credit scene wasn't even an after credit scene. It was just literally at the end of the film.
Yeah, well, they do have the after. Oh yeah, I don't know if it was.
No, they don't have an after credit scene. The after credit scene is just at the end of the film.
What? They do have an after credit
They,
scene.
they do have one.
No, they don't.
With,
Yeah, it's literally at the end of the film though. There's no credits. It just goes from the end of the film to that bar, and then the credits play throughout.
Wow, I can't even remember.
Yeah, it is just on the end of the film.
Okay.
Tony Stark comes in and says it smells like beer and defeat in here.
Before that, there's the one where he's in his little cottage and he intentionally turns himself into the Hulk. And so
I did. To be honest, at that point, I'd completely just zoned out. So I had no idea why he was doing that.
In British Columbia as well. That's Canada, unless there's another British Columbia.
No, he's fucked off to.
So he just fucked off to Canada.
And is now living in Canada.
There is
And
no
then he goes back to South
rhyme or
America in the
reason
Avengers.
as to why he would do that.
No, and it doesn't make sense because even on the thing that says days without incident, is the incident. So that confused me. Was the incident referring to he fucked shit up, or
Him becoming Hulk.
Him becoming Hulk. Okay. Right. Well, yeah. I don't know why he became the Hulk. If that implication is he can control the Hulk now.
I mean,
I assume that's what
he's
he was
lost
doing.
that cabin. It's smashed to pieces immediately.
The Hulk will just make tea or something based on the movie. Anyway,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, he's not crazy.
Yeah, he's not being attacked by anyone, so he just chill.
He just sits there and is on the floor watching the fire. So yeah, that's the Incredible Hulk with not so Sir Edward Norton.
Sir Norton.
Sir Norton.
Sir Norton Internet Security.
My favourite parts are the action scenes, bar the last one where it's just Hulk on Hulk, really boring, and probably just Tony Stark walking in, because goddammit, Robert Downey Jr. just has charm.
He does have charm, he uses it. Yeah, it starts everything up until that initial first Hulk. After that, it starts to lose its way a little bit. It's a slow sort of decline. The action scenes are alright, and the last... It's a confused movie, and there's no real purpose other than Hulk, I suppose. It's very unusual. There's no motivations when you saw it, except for getting a cure for old Eddie.
Yeah, first half, reasonably fun, and then second half, just very forgettable.
It's not like the second half's even overly bad. It just kind of
Yeah.
exists and doesn't
No.
add anything to the movie or to the MCU.
Yeah, absolutely. The only bad bit for me really is as soon as Abomination. Well, as soon as they arrive at the lab, really. Well, once that's done, the last 15 minutes are just not great. Overall, it's an alright movie. It's fine. It is inconsequential, as we've said, but in my opinion, probably not the worst. I don't know.
It's the forgotten MCU film, and it's forgotten for a reason, really. It's forgettable.
It is. So, out of the two we've watched...
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, should we rank this film then?
Yeah.
Gee, I wonder.
I wonder.
Guys,
He
is
lost.
the Incredible Hulk better than Iron Man?
No.
No.
There it
I'm not
is.
even letting you do the drum roll. No.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
So
It's
there
all-
we go. That's
It's
our
alright,
list
but
then.
Iron Man's pretty good. So.
So far, in our MCU ranked, we have Iron Man in first place and the Incredible Hulk in second, shocking literally nobody.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same for everything there as well, in terms of like Stan Lee cameos. Hulk is second. After credits ranking, Hulk is second.
Yeah. It's just not as good all around, really.
Strange for a film that came out 1 month after Iron Man. You'd think they'd nailed both out the gate.
Yeah, different people doing them, I suppose.
Well, it's a good thing they nailed. It's a good thing they nailed one.
Hmm.
Yes.
Because if the MCU would have got nowhere with films like this.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I agree. So, speaking of MCU, what's the next MCU on the list?
Next up is Iron Man 2. We'll go straight into the first proper numbered sequel. Even, to be honest, there's not that many numbered sequels. There's two numbered sequels, Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3.
That's it.
An original. Fair enough. Yeah.
Any quick thoughts about what you guys, how you guys think going into Iron Man 2 now?
Again, it's another film that I don't really remember all that well. Like, I remember some of the designs. Like, I think we talked about this last time. It's like, I remember the guy who uses the whips. I remember him being like, "My bird."
My bird.
That's all I remember from the second one. So I'm curious to see what I think about it next week, because I'm kind of looking forward to it.
I remember enjoying Iron Man 2. I think I like it more than a lot of people, but it might be terrible now. I don't know. We'll see.
I have a distinct soft spot for Iron Man 2. I don't know why. It's a messy film. As far as I remember, it's been a while since I've watched it, but I'm looking forward to watching it again.
Fair enough. I can't remember it, to be honest. For some reason, I remember it having forgettable villains, but I kind of think that about most of the Iron Man movies, except for Box of Scraps Lad. So.
Tony Stark built us in a cave with a box of scraps.
Yeah.
Bruce, are you gonna come with me, Bruce?
Don't go. So I'm about as excited for Iron Man 2 as I was about for the Incredible Hulk, really.
Glorious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Super
fair.
excited.
So that was Blunt Lemons ranking the MCU. If you've watched this far, thank you. I doubt you have, but if you have, comment below. Tell us where you think the Incredible Hulk lies and why it's obviously second.
Clearly.
Like, comment, subscribe, all the necessaries for YouTube success and fame.
Check out our Twitch.
That too. And I guess that's it. So, adios, amigos.